guys, there are a lot of big franchise games coming out on the horizon, all right? We have that Captain America Black Panther game that did just recently get delayed. According to some rumors, Rocksteady might be going back to Batman Arkham on the Marvel side of things. I mean, just pick your poison. There are so many amazing Marvel games on the horizon. But did you know that we're getting a game from the G.I. Joe franchise, specifically for Snake Eyes? And did you know that we actually just got our first official look at this game? Well, I'm gonna break down everything you need to know about the Snake Eyes game. Because when I talked about this yesterday after they posted the first official look, there were so many people that were like, Caboose, first of all, if you made a video on this, I would hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to your channel. But then also so many people were like, I didn't even know this existed. So let's break down the timeline. We go all the way back to 2022. That was the first time that an article was written that hinted at the possibility of a G.I. Joe Snake Eyes game. In 2023, it officially entered pre-production, and they've been working on it ever since. And now this new game, this Snake Eyes game, it comes from a brand new AAA studio that was recently created known as Atomic Arcade. And this is the juiciest bit of information when I was doing my research about the Snake Eyes game. This new studio, Atomic Arcade, is made up of a bunch of veterans that worked on the Batman Arkham games. And how the studio head for Atomic Arcade, he has had his hands in a lot of superhero games, some of your favorites of all time. I mean, going all the way back, he worked on, as an executive producer, the Spider-Man 2 movie tie-in game, as well as Hulk Ultimate Destruction. And then over on DC, I mean, he worked on Batman Arkham City, Injustice Gods Among Us. He was working at WB Games before he jumped over to create his new studio, Atomic Arcade. And the first thing that Atomic Arcade got to work on is now this Snake Eyes game. And from what we're hearing, having all these ex-Batman Arkham people working now at Atomic Arcade on this Snake Eyes game, is it gonna be like an Arkham game but with Snake Eyes? Well, according to a higher up at Hasbro who was talking about this game a couple of years back, that seems to be the goal. There's a quote: "A common theme you're going to see amongst all of these studios is leadership and teams that have kind of done something that we're trying to do," noting that the leadership of Atomic Arcade worked on Batman Arkham Asylum and is looking with Snake Eyes to do for that character something similar to what the Arkham games did with Batman. Now, that could mean a number of things, obviously, in terms of just specifically the character, but then again, I don't think anyone was looking at Batman being like, we're not taking that seriously until the Arkham games came out. I think the Arkham games definitely helped to contribute to kind of a new look, a new perspective that fans have on Batman. But I also think that most people look at the Arkham games as what revolutionized combat in superhero games and combat in video games in general. And so it sounds like what they're looking for here is maybe to replicate that specific part. And I mean, hell yeah, the Arkham games combat is the blueprint for any major IP video game. Absolutely gotta go down that route, and I would love to play a Snake Eyes game that has the Arkham combat sprinkled in there. Since then as well, there's been tons of job postings over the last couple of years that have hinted that this game is going to be open world. Job postings that ask for people that have experience working on open world or linear structured games, some that specifically ask for talent that has experience working on open world or sandbox type projects. So again, I think it's safe to say that we're looking at an open world Snake Eyes game with Arkham style combat, and that just sounds like the recipe for printing infinite money, basically. And as well, I mean, it sounds like the recipe for like reviving the G.I. Joe franchise and putting it back into the public eye. I've been a fan of G.I. Joe since I was a kid. I got all the tiny little G.I. Joe figures. I love these characters, and I feel like we just haven't gotten a good piece of G.I. Joe media outside of those old cartoons. And it kind of sounds like some people who are working over at Atomic Arcade sort of agree and want to revitalize the interest in this franchise and change people's perspective on it. We actually got a quote here from the studio cinematic director, Sean Ainsworth, that kind of explains what I'm talking about. He says here, "I'm excited to make a game that takes the G.I. Joe universe seriously enough to hopefully affect people's perception of the franchise. It's got so much awesome made-for-game stuff in it. Getting to play as Snake Eyes, a combination of ninja and commando, is such a ripe space to play in, and I think it'll offer some very unique gameplay experiences. I'm also really excited about some of the set piece moments we're planning. It's like being a kid again, back in my grandma's vegetable patch, only so much better because you can bring your imagination to life in a way you can only dream about as a kid." I mean, hell yes, that is exactly what I like to hear. Everything that Sean is saying there sounds amazing, and it just gets me even more excited for this game. All right, that now brings us to the present. You're caught up on everything regarding this game. Now we just recently got our first ever look at the actual in-game model for Snake Eyes. The first screenshot that we got here is of Snake Eyes holding a gun. It's got an option to either go auto, semi, or obviously safe. He's got this sick armor on with some crazy etched in stuff there. I really love that. And you can actually see a patch up above there that looks like it says Joe, J-O-E. At least that's what I think I'm seeing. It's a very different logo from what you normally expect out of the G.I. Joe. But then again, they are trying to do something that seems a bit more mature here. So if this is a G.I. Joe patch that he's wearing, then this is currently a Snake Eyes that's already a part of the G.I. Joe, and not necessarily like a Snake Eyes origin type situation. So maybe what we're doing in this game is just going out on a mission that the G.I. Joe are sending us on. But also in general, I really love sort of the samurai inspired ideas here with his costume. He looks so friggin' sick, and we still haven't even seen the mask yet. We haven't even gotten a full head-to-toe look yet. On top of getting the screenshot of him holding that gun, we also got a screenshot of him holding his signature katana with the Arashikage logo on it. And yeah, the sword has got some blood. It's dripping some blood. Snake Eyes has it got a little crazy from what we can tell on this screenshot. And what's awesome is the Atomic Arcade website actually gives us a little video that puts in motion the two screenshots that I just showed for you guys. You can see him moving there, living and breathing. I do wish that we just got like just a full look at the model, but maybe it's not finalized. Maybe it's not 100% ready yet. But there's one more bit of information that I found extremely interesting doing some digging over on Atomic Arcade's website. That image of him holding the sword, if you want to access it on their website, you have to enter your date of birth first. And that means that this image of him with the sword and it all bloodied up is an age-gated piece of content from the game. Usually, what that is supposed to mean is that the game is aiming for an M rating. And I think based on the actual image itself and the fact that you have to enter your date of birth in order to see the image on the website means we're probably getting an M-rated open world Snake Eyes game that's gonna have Batman Arkham style combat. Again, we're printing money here. This just sounds like the easiest lob that I have ever seen in my life for a video game. I just can't wait to see some more. And considering that the game went into pre-production in 2023, there were job postings in 2024, and now we're getting a first look at it, they're well within the development of this game. Does that mean that it's coming out like next year? I don't necessarily think so. It's probably still a couple more years off, but it is very promising that they're giving us some great updates here already. It sounds like everyone working at Atomic Arcade is extremely excited about the project. I'm personally very excited about it, given everything we just went over in this video. And you already know, we're gonna be covering it right here on this channel. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, if you like Snake Eyes, if you like superhero games, I got you covered right here. But that's it. That is everything you need to know about the Snake Eyes game. Now I want to kick it to you guys. Sound off with the thoughts in the comments section below. Are you excited? What do you hope for out of this the most? For me, I just need the final fight to be a kick-ass battle, 1v1 Snake Eyes versus Storm Shadow. And then, hell, if Atomic Arcade knocks it out of the park, let's set up, let's tease, let's start to build to a G.I. Joe game. This could be the game, this could be the moment that finally makes people see how freaking cool G.I. Joe is, so that Hasbro can start making movies with them again. All right, sound off with the thoughts in the comment section below. I've been Caboose. I'll see you guys later.